Alright, bro, who else is getting super mad at watching these conservative fucks on like the Turning Point, USA, and the Daily Wire hyperfixate on Dearborn and Muslims for the past like 2 months? Like, brother, bro, Matt Walsh, I saw you fucking get your religion made fun of by your bosses on one of your streams in real life as your face gets red and you don't say nothing, like a little bitch and coward you are, but you always talk about Muslims as if we're like the enemy at the gates. That's like a lot of the terminology they're using now, the enemy within or the enemy with the gates. Bro, we make up 5 million. There's 5 million Muslims in the United States, alright? That's less than 1% of the US population. We're not the problem. The problem is these corporations and these super rich elites who have systematically been destroying and superventing the American government and the American people for the past 40 years, since Reagan, since their puppet Reagan came in, and then you had their puppet Bill Clinton, and their puppet George W. Bush, and then their puppet Obama, and then their puppet Trump, and then puppet Biden. All these puppets for these corporations and donors, all right? With little strings that you can see. We're not the problem. All right, that's the reason why the American person's life is objectively shittier than like their parents. We're literally millennials in our generation are the first generation ever in American history where we aren't more well off than our parents. All right. Again, and one of the biggest talking points they use is Europe, for example, and they look at the demographic shift and they look at the religious shift and how Europe is going to be Muslim majority by like 2050, most likely 2060. Bro, you guys got to realize Europe has been going through what is called a global New World Order project for the past, I'd say, 30, 40 years. It's like 1990, all right? After the collapse of the Soviet Union, these countries basically decided to, like, fuck it, why not? And just destroy, like, the moral fabric and the societal fabric of their nations. Why? Is because they need to implement this new globalist elite order, and in order for this globalist elite order to be passed slowly without people noticing, you have to cause mass hysteria, mass population collapse, mass population displacement, and just slowly phase out new laws. Like, for example, the digital ID that people were protesting against. For example, the bullshit laws that the Netherlands tried to push until you had like basically a farmers unite against them. Or you had the World Economic Forum literally say on camera in their 2020 and their 2021 conferences, you will own nothing and be happy. We're going to go to an age where everyone is digitally locked and no one owns anything. And you basically have your whole life controlled. All right. And what they did is they destabilized Muslim lands. All right. Destroyed those Muslims, took all the resources, displaced their people, took the people, flooded them into Europe, and then artificially created mass hysteria, mass displacement, so that the average person in Europe is more worried about his neighbor than he is about the people on the top who are circumventing their entire lives. And that's what happened, all right? We're not the enemies, all right? The enemies are these fucking losers who treat humans as if they are fucking game pieces.